A while back, Blaze the Movie Fan posted a link to his old commentary on Cult of Dusty in Umbris' server and asked everyone there what they thought of it. I said that I remembered disliking it at the time. Blaze asked why that was. One thing led to another, and now I'm covering a nearly 7-year-old video. I also want to give the disclaimer of, yes, I'm an atheist. However, the fact that Blaze is arguing against an atheist arguing for atheism is not why I decided to cover this video. There are arguments atheists have made that I thought were kind of silly, or based on incorrect information, and if somebody were to argue against those, I would not have an issue. Furthermore, Cult of Dusty makes very liberal use of a certain term for mentally disabled people that I don't use on this channel, which starts with an R, and says other things about Islam and its followers that could be seen as distasteful in the mind of some viewers. If you find this offensive, I would not recommend continuing this commentary. Anyway, I'm going to be skipping the first almost 3 minutes because that's how long it takes for Blaze to really start the commentary, which is in of itself on a commentary where Dusty responds to a man criticizing a video of his on Islam.
Hey guys, I'm really excited because the Muslims are finally on the internet! Finally! I've been waiting so long to debate these primitives.
Debate, a formal discussion on a particular matter in a public meeting or legislative assembly. It can barely be considered a discussion if one side doesn't care what the other side has to say, and it's plainly fucking obvious that you don't fucking care what religious people have to say. You just wanna force your atheism down their throats.
Okay, first off, how is Dusty shoving his atheism down anybody's throats through making YouTube videos which people have to choose to click on? His message is inherently only going to be accessible to those who go out of their way to listen to it, meaning the only people who are going to see it are going to be those who are interested. After all, it's not as if he's street preaching or anything of the sort. I also want to talk about you saying Dusty doesn't care about what theists have to say. Well, if that's the case, why exactly would he watch a video by a theist and attempt to make arguments against it? If he really did not care about the other side, why would he even give them the time of day in the first place?
Alright, so I start out my video and I explain exactly why Islam is stupid. I explained that even from the beginning, this story is so unlikely you would have to be retarded to believe it.
Okay, what's the point in restating what you said in the previous video? You could have easily used a clip from the last video and also used the audio from that clip. I mean, come on, man, that would look so much fucking better than restating what you said. Some of you might make the argument that it could cause some confusion, but my counter-argument to that is the fact that Cult of Dusty is obviously in a different fucking room, so there would be no confusion at all. So yeah, there is absolutely no fucking excuse for this.
Here's my question, why does it matter exactly? What difference does it make if Dusty plays the clip from his original video, or if he restates what was in those clips in this one? You don't explain why this is an issue, you just kind of say it and expect everyone to understand what the problem is.
So what? That sounds so cool, bro! Just listening to that makes me want to follow it yet again. That's such an awesome story, bro. Yeah.
What? Your response is to admit it's retarded?
He never admitted that his religion is dumb. You are putting words into his mouth, and frankly, if you have to take someone out of context in order to make a point, that really destroys your credibility.
That's not what taking somebody out of context is. At worst, Dusty misrepresented what was said. However, all of the context needed to understand that clip was still there. Or again, is there something I'm missing? And if the answer is yes, then why don't you explain it?
But then to say, isn't it cool? No, it's not fucking cool!
You seem to think that religion is objectively bad. It's not. It's your fucking opinion.
Where the fuck did you get that from this clip? Dusty didn't say all religion is bad in every way and has done nothing but harm all of civilization. He was responding to a guy calling Islam cool by saying it wasn't. I don't get how you got from point A to point B, Blaze. I'm sorry.
And yes, there are many bad aspects to religion. I am not denying that, such as trying to make homosexuality illegal. But there are a lot of good aspects of religion too. The reason why some people choose to be Christians, for example, is because they like the idea of a being in the sky who can act as their guidance in life. And that is a fucking awesome feeling, so it makes sense that those people wanna be Christians. And at the top of that, religion can also help some people overcoming depression.
How does that debunk anything Dusty said, though? He never claimed that religion has never done any good anywhere at any time. He just said he didn't think Islam's origin story was cool.
You do know that not knowing shit is not cool, right? We live in an era where science and reason and logic and evidence are what's cool. You know that, right?
This is a problem I have with many hardcore atheists on YouTube. They seem to think that being religious automatically means that someone is ignorant of science. And that's not true at all. There are many religious people who are also interested in science.
Okay, like who? I'm not even saying that you are wrong, Blaze. I would just like some examples. Also, Dusty didn't say that all religious people are ignorant of science, but that this one Muslim values their faith more than concepts like science and evidence, as seen by them dismissing Dusty's criticisms of Islam so far by saying that the story just sounds so cool. This is a very individualized statement Dusty is making, and you are treating it like he is talking about all religious people when, to be blunt, there's nothing that he has said so far which implies that.
Also, whether a god, a demon or whatever is real or not, all depends on perspective and is entirely subjective. Just because stuff like that is not real to you doesn't mean it's not real to everyone else.
No! Something either is real or it isn't. It has nothing to do with subjectivity. There either is a god or there isn't, and both sides are making claims about reality when they assert their position on this topic.
The world is actually boring as it is, so why can't we believe in something like that? That's freaking awesome!
That is such a fucking stupid response! How could you have thought making this video was a good idea if you didn't have anything better than that to say? I mean, I just eviscerated your religion. I pulled its guts out and I showed it to you. Don't you have some kind of real intellectual defense at all?
He actually brought up a legitimate point. The fact that life would be boring without religion is exactly the reason why I'm religious, because it makes life a lot more interesting and fun to me. Also, Dusty, you are the one with poor arguments. Throughout the video, you have been saying stuff like, it's not cool,
which he only said in response to the person he's covering calling Islam cool, meaning you can't really fault him for responding to it in the manner he did, given he's just continuing the discussion that was already started.
And you're wrong because you're religious.
When has Dusty said that this person was wrong on the basis that they are religious? Because I checked, I could not find him saying that.
Atheists don't believe in God, so why are they going back into religion and trying to study so much about it and learn so much about it if they don't like religion? Why go back to it? I don't understand.
Let me explain to you exactly how stupid that question is. It's exactly as if you asked the doctor, if you hate cancer so much, why do you study it so hard? The answer is obvious. It's harmful and should be destroyed, and the more we know about it, the easier it is to destroy.
I find it funny how we get on Google for making a dumb analogy, yet here you are making an even dumber analogy.
This is in reference to the part of the video I cut out for time, just for the record.
Not only is this analogy very fucking dumb, it's also fucking disgusting. How dare you compare religion to cancer? That is so fucking low, man. There is literally nothing good about cancer. And like I proved earlier on in the video, there are some good aspects of religion. Also, religion isn't a disease. It's the choice of believing in something.
Okay, most of this point is fine because I actually agree with Blaze that Dusty's comparison was in bad taste, and even if I didn't, it's entirely subjective anyway, so there wouldn't really be much to argue. But Blaze saying religion isn't a disease is just another example of him debunking a point that, to be blunt, nobody made. Dusty wasn't literally saying that religion is an illness, he was comparing his desire to eradicate it with a doctor's desire to cure the sick. I also want to say that calling religion a choice is a tad iffy, given the sheer amount of theocracies in the world, both historically and even to this day. Back in 2013, it was found that 13 different countries punished atheism by death. What choice do the people in those nations have? The following year, another study found that 51 countries still had laws against blasphemy, albeit only 36 still enforced them. Again, what choice do people in these countries have to meaningfully be atheists? Or any ideology the government has decided is not in line with their theology? There's a lot more going on here than simple individual choice is my point, and although I don't think Blaze meant anything bad through this statement, I at the very least believe he should have thought through the implications quite a bit more than he actually did. Anyway, that's all I want to cover, primarily because the rest of the video is just him calling Dusty an elitist or agreeing with things Dusty says, neither of which I find particularly objectionable. All I really have left to say is it felt like Blaze was so focused on disagreeing with everything Dusty said, at least in the parts of the video I covered, that he wasn't really paying attention to the context of why Dusty said them. Which is a common mistake for commentators to make. It's one I'm guilty of myself from time to time. So I'm not going to hold that against Blaze too much. It's just something I'd advise against to not only him, but any other commentators watching. Good night, and good luck.